Beyond, my name is Colin Moriarty. I'm editor of IGN PlayStation. I'm here with the illustrious and the esteemed Andrew Goldfarb of IGN News.
Man, my intros are getting better every time. I appreciate it.
Did you prefer when I called you adorable or esteemed?
I liked adorable, to be honest. It boosted my confidence.
Okay, good. But esteemed doesn't build your confidence.
Well, I don't really know what that word means.
Okay, fair enough. So, Goldfarb, I have a few exclusives going up today about PlayStation Vita on IGN. Some of them are already published. I had an interesting conversation with a Sony executive named Don Mesa, who's a really interesting dude over there, and he's in charge of kind of software planning over there, especially with third parties, but also with first parties. And we had a conversation in which he revealed, for instance, that The Walking Dead is coming to PlayStation Vita. You can find that exclusive on IGN.com. But he also told me some interesting statistics that I thought I'd bounce off of you that indicate that PlayStation Vita is actually more popular than a lot of people think. And I don't mean in terms of sales. We know that it's struggling with sales. It's probably not even at 5 million sold yet. Sure. But with the people that buy the Vita, they love it. And here's what he told me. And so tell me if this is interesting to you.
Are we going to go point by point?
Yeah.
Okay.
First, he said Sony did a pretty wide-ranging poll with Vita users and said that 86% of Vita users are satisfied with the Vita. Does that surprise you?
As a Vita user who is satisfied, not necessarily.
So you're one of those 86%.
I
Me
am,
too.
absolutely. I mean, I think the people I talked to who own one here, you know, Brian Altano was skeptical for a long time, finally got it, loves it. You know, you and me and Greg obviously really like cars. I think most people
we imported them from Japan.
Yeah.
That's how much I love
that's hardcore, yeah. I think people who actually sit down and spend time with the game in that system tend to be satisfied, even just anecdotally. Like, I have yet to meet somebody who's like, well, except for Mark Ryan, he's the exception that proves the rule. That's like, man, I really regret having a Vita.
Yeah.
And you know, if they say that, it's because they feel like there aren't enough titles out for them. They have this perceived, you know, lack of games. But I think the system itself they're happy with. I don't think anyone like hates the hardware, hates the screen, hates the interface.
Here's another stat he told me.
Okay.
90% of Vita owners play once a week or more.
Wow.
Does that surprise you?
That surprised me a little bit because I think, you know, it's kind of become a little bit of a joke. Like, oh, the Vita is sort of like the Wii, collects dust, and, you know, there's nothing to do on it. I mean, again, like, personally, like, I play a lot. Obviously, in this office, we're all gamers. Like, anecdotally, we have 90% of people playing, I would say, once a week.
Yeah,
for
sure.
But that one does surprise me a little bit because I think a lot of people who do have Vitas, you know, even if they like the experience itself, they do feel like there isn't enough for them to do day to day.
Right. All right, here's a staggering stat. This one really blew me away.
Okay.
On average, every week, a Vita user plays 18.7 hours a week on Vita.
Wow.
18.7 hours every week on the Vita is the average of the people polled by Sony. Does that surprise you?
That absolutely surprised me. Yeah, that's like really hardcore because that's like I play a lot of Vita. I sit down, play Vita a lot at home and on the go, like when I'm traveling and stuff. But I don't even know if I hit 18 hours a week, to be honest.
Well, here's what I think about this. I think the Vita's used. You know, Sony's told me in the past that the Vita and the PS3 are one and the same in the sense that a PS3, virtually no one has bought a Vita that doesn't own a PS3, right? Sure. So these are hardcore PlayStation fans. And they also told me that, you know, with that in mind, rather, it seems like this might be a device used in cities and you know, on trains and buses during commutes and stuff like that. Because when I think about, you know, my hour commute or so, one way every day to work, that's 20 hours, you know, right? No, 10 hours a week
10
right
hours
there.
a week, yeah.
And then,
I was going to say, wow.
Yeah, my math's not very good. But then I was going to say mine's even higher because I play another 10 or 15 hours at home. So
sure.
I'm actually, you know, in some weeks I don't play at all.
Yeah.
But, you know, some weeks that's all I play.
Some people have longer commutes too, right? I mean, it's also some people, like, I mean, again.
God, I hope not. My commute's still friggin' long.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. Well, since it's not that bad. Could be worse. Colin Campbell, when he was here, he was going way out to Santa Cruz. Could be worse. But, you know, on top of that, right, like a lot of people play during the lunch. Like I have friends who have like retail jobs they're not into. They'll use their lunch break to play 3DS, play Vita, you know, spend some time with it there. So I think people at work, on the way to work, on the way back from work, that's true. That is like, you know, 10, 15 hours a week.
Yeah, for sure. And here's the final stat.
Okay.
That's a little staggering. 100 games will be released for Vita in 2013. In fact, over 100 games will be released for Vita in 2013. Now, that's an interesting statistic to me because we've already seen a lot of them. If you pay attention to IGN.com, you go to PlayStation Blog, any of those kinds of things, indie games are coming out every week. And I've been playing Nun Attack, which is actually really fun on Vita. It's for $3. And there's a lot of indie games. And you know, Don told me a little bit about, you know, we know Hotline Miami's coming and Frozen Synapse and Thomas Was Alone in a lot of these games. But also big retail games, Killzone Mercenary and Tearaway from Media Molecule. And he did tell me that the first parties are working on other things too that they're not ready to announce yet.
Well, and third parties. I mean, there's that Rising Phoenix is rumored as the next Assassin's Creed Vita game. You know, like it makes sense for more things to keep coming. I don't know, based on the overwhelming quality of Black Ops Declassified, if we'll see another Call of Duty game, but it seems like it would be smart to time it with whatever the new one will be.
Indeed. So what's the point of this story? What's the moral of this story? the Vita's pretty popular with people
Yeah.
that bought it.
It's
but
not dead
very
yet.
but not dead yet. In fact, it might be rising out of its grave this year. We'll
You
see.
hope so. You hope PS4 will help with that too. I mean, like you keep bringing up, maybe Sony's long game was to let the system struggle for a year in order to make it heavily integrated with PS4 and kind of make it incentivize users to if they're into PS4, they can get an even better experience if they pick up a Vita also.
That Gaikai action.
Yeah.
Well,
That hot
Goldfarb,
Gaikai action.
thank you for joining me. Get back to your desk and keep writing news. For
Will
all
do.
things on PlayStation 3, PlayStation Vita, and PlayStation 4, you can keep it tuned to IGN.